evening, all. On behalf of Mind Your Mind team, I welcome you all for our 1256th session. I am happy to introduce today's speaker, Miss Aditi Mishra from Maharashtra. Miss Aditi Mishra is doing her PhD in forensic science. She is currently pursuing research on nanoparticle infused detection of body fluids, which is the first ever research in the world to explore this innovative forensic approach in National Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar, an institute of national importance, Home Ministry, Government of India, world's only university dedicated to forensic sciences. Her work aims to revolutionize forensic identification techniques using nanotechnology. She has authored multiple research papers in reputed journals. She has been actively involved in training law enforcement agencies, hands-on forensic training for Assam police officers, Goa policemen, and cyber commandos, crime scene management workshops for law enforcement personnel, focusing on modern forensic methodologies and evidence handling. She has been invited as an expert speaker at multiple academic institutions and forensic science conferences. She has been instrumental in guiding students and professionals on forensic career opportunities and preparation strategies for competitive examinations like UGC, NET, and JRF. She was also involved in DNA matching process after the recent Ahmedabad air crash. We are proud to have her in our forum now. I request Ms. Aditi to deliver a speech. Thank you. Aditi, you can start.
I'm
Sir,
so
how
happy.
how is he joined with our MIM, sir?
Sir, please mute your mic. Aditi, you can start.
Okay. So I would like to begin with the shlok from Undag Upanishad, which says, Sukshme Satye Dhairya Rakshita Rashtre. In the smallest fragment of truth, courage safeguards the nation. These ancient lines tells us that truth, be it in the form of fingerprint, DNA, trace elements, can, even infused with courage and persistence, can help us safeguard the nation, can help us safeguard our families, can help us safeguard you and me. So in this is what in its true form, its purest form is forensic sciences. So forensic sciences basically is an applied science where we use scientific techniques to solve crimes. Fine, this is the basic definition of forensic science. And today I'm talking in front of you all not as a forensic researcher, but as a witness of science and how I have seen science turning into courage and courage turning into shaping the nation. So, namaskar, I am Aditi Mishra. Uncle has already introduced me, but if I shortly tell about my academic journey, it began in 2018 when I joined for graduation in Nagpur. It was Government Institute of Forensic Sciences, Nagpur. Then I appeared for post-graduation entrances. I got selected in Delhi University and Gujarat Forensic Sciences University. But my family's concern was more towards like for safety issues, and they had forced me to choose Gandhinagar over Delhi. So I started my post-graduation in Gujarat. In second year of my master's, I qualified forensic aptitude and caliber test. Due to which I got posted into Central Forensic Science Laboratory, under Home Ministry. It was in Pune. So there, I tell you, it was such a great experience because every day I would see crime patrol cases on my desk. It was all television, all different stories every day on my desks. But something in me wasn't satisfied there. I thought, no, I need to do something apart from what I'm doing on a regular basis. So then I thought of going towards research. Then I qualified Maharashtra State Eligibility Test. Then I qualified UGC National Eligibility Test in Forensic Science, and I got selected for the PhD program in National Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar, under the supervision of Dr. Professor Satish Kumar. In my first year of PhD, I qualified for the Junior Research Fellow, and then I also, my interest in criminology made me qualify UGC Criminology as well. So this was my total academic journey. It all started with curiosity. And now when I am in this field, I realize that the toughest investigations are not the one where the evidence is in its complex form, but rather it is they are the things where human loss is so huge, it is so overwhelming, like what I have seen in the Air India 171 Ahmedabad crash. This Ahmedabad crash was something we never thought we'll be able to witness. I remember it so well because it was the afternoon of 12th June 2025, and we were attending a PhD viva. So the air in the room was so academic. There were discussions, there were debates, and we were not ready of what was going to come. Suddenly, somebody came with a message that there has been a crash. There had been a crash at Ahmedabad airport. Soon after, I started getting calls from my family members that, are you okay? Because Ahmedabad airport is not very far from my university. So I was not aware about the severity of the crash at that time. Then, as soon as the evening came, the reality started unfolding and things changed totally. Official orders came in that one of the team from our university has to be deployed to the crash site, and at that time also I thought maybe it's something we won't be given a chance to investigate, because we are university. At the end, we have so many agencies taking part in the investigation. Then I remember I had my dinner and I got a call that, Aditi, you have to report to the laboratory at the earliest. I took my water bottle, I took my diary, I went to the lab. At that time, I tell you, the moment was something. The lab, I never saw the lab changing, shifting in a way. It was such a mixture of prayers, protocols, science, statistics, and so many things all together mixed up. I still remember, to be very honest, we were not ready. Our nation was not ready for something like this. We had no standardized protocols for something like, if getting huge number of burned bodies all together. We had no standardized protocols for that. We had no skilled equipments for that to analyze everything at once. So our nation was not ready for this. But I remember this incident not only taught me scientific aspects of the investigation, but this had taught me the power of collaboration. I remember police, medical staff, the state medical staff, rescue forces, everybody was so ready. They were all jumped into the site. They were working together because everybody has a shared motto. I somehow understand. When I was in my masters, I remember I studied about a crash in 2001 in US. There also about 270 to 280 people lost their lives, and USA is ahead of us in forensics. They are decade ahead of us in forensics. Though they were not able to solve or give reports in such a short span, what we did, we have given the reports in 18 days, like from the date of crash. By 18 days, we were all done with the reports and all. So I remember being very less equipped and with less resources. Still, we were be able to do that. I think it was because of the teamwork and the power of collaboration. So this was a very big lesson I learned in this investigation. So first were the somewhere the victims, and with victims we get reference samples. So it is like 260 samples of the victims and 260 or more samples of the relatives, which are the reference samples. So we got those samples in the different slots. And then I remember when we got the sample. So if I explain you in short, if for any investigation, chain of custody is the lifeline. What is chain of custody? If I explain, chain of custody is the documentation of the evidence from the time you collect it to the time you present it in the court. So this is done in order to maintain the integrity of the evidence. It should not get it should nobody should question its authenticity. So that is why we maintain the chain of custody. So the chain of custody was followed, everything was done. And when we received it, police people bring it to us. And when we received it, the first operational stages to open the case. Now, opening the case is not as simple as opening a box. It is a meticulous process. 5 to 6 people in a team are employed in opening the case. Now, what we do, we first videograph, we photograph, we document. In documentation, every evidence has its own file in which we do labeling. We write about detailed explanation of what is there. Then we do the tagging, and then we process the evidence. Now in this case, what I have seen, majority of the evidences were tooth, because it was so badly burnt. Everything was so badly burnt that bones and bones and teeth, don't tend to burn that easily. They can survive the temperature. That is why majority of the evidences were bones, teeth, and some were burnt clothes with some stains. Because the captain's uniform, I could see the uniform of the captain. I remember all these things were a mixture of so many types of evidences were there. And I remember one of my senior, she said, Aditi, do you see this huge a blast? And what we are getting? We are getting the evidences even lesser than the size of a coin, teeth, tooth, all these things you are getting. So just imagine the severity. So then what we do after opening, when we see those evidences, we process for the cleaning. Now, bones have a different protocol of cleaning. Teeth, they follow some other protocol. Flesh, tissues have other protocol, but you have to clean them thoroughly in order to process. Now, if I tell you, we really had to change little things in the protocols because we had really less time. So we could wash it, and instead of drying it for 2 days, we just dried it for a few hours to process it at the earliest. And then what we did for the bone, we just break the bone, we take out the bone marrow, and we go for the DNA analysis. For teeth or tooth, what we do, we just crush the tooth, and then we go for the DNA analysis. And for the flesh and blood stains, we have different protocols. This is how we proceed. Then after opening, after cleaning, we go for the DNA extraction. Now, because we had really less time, so we used automated kits for DNA extraction. Then we did the extraction. Then we went for RT-PCR. RT-PCR is another process where we get to know the quantity of DNA, what amount of DNA is degraded because it has come from such an site, how much male content of the DNA is there. These all things you get to know from RT-PCR. And then we amplify the bands, which is PCR. Polymerase chain reaction. It is we do a chain of reactions, and then we amplify DNA, and then we process it for the profiling. So what is profiling? In profiling, using genetic analyzer, we get different bands, peaks. Now we get the profile of the victim. Same way, we process everything and generate a profile of the relative, which is the reference. So this is how we have got the profile of the victim, got the profile of the relatives, that is reference. And this is how we have generated profiles. Now we go for the matching process. Now matching process, it was so, if you can imagine, so many samples. They were, if I like, I'll be sharing my stories ahead. So many profiles, all the desks were filled with pages of peaks and labels and tags, and we have to match it with who's matching with whom. So I remember, this is how, I don't know what energies were with us. We could design a software in just 2 days with the help of one scientific company, Thermo software, which would help us filter. Now what it did, it was a column based interface. So what that software, how it helped us, it gave one column of the victims DNA, one column of the relatives DNA, and the percentage of matching. So now from there we could filter it out, like, okay, this X is matching with this percentage of samples. After that, we went for the manual matching so that there should be accuracy in the reports. After matching, we went for the report generation. Now, report generation was done in two phases. First was the initial phase, and second one was the final one. So, what we did in initial phase was just to give the matching percentage and give it to the civil hospital. On the basis of this DNA reports, they would release the bodies to their relatives. So it was on the basis of this primary reports, the civil hospital would release the bodies to their relatives. After few days, we generated the final report, which carried about the protocols used, the conclusion, the supporting profiles, and everything. The detailed report was the final one, which we gave days later. So this is how we reached till reporting. And I remember we would not even, we were so much engrossed into all these things. Nobody was interested about what's happening in hostel, what's happening in their lives, and I was one of the youngest people working on the team. So for me, it was sometimes I would call my mother and say, "Mummy, these things are something I never imagined I would be ever be able to see all these things." So these things gave me a lot of experiences. Then after this, uh, now after that we have generated the report. Now comes a bigger picture. Like, this is what I actually wanted to discuss, like how forensics is used in national security, because forensics is having such a vast role in different agencies. Like if there is a terror attack, NIA is the first one to approach forensics. If there is any bomb demolishing, if there is any chemical test needed for that, NSG comes to us. If there is seizure of any psychotropic substances, NDPS comes to us. IB and RAW needs forensics for generating the digital or cyber footprints. So it's like forensic has a role in every aspect, not only in mass disaster. For mass disaster, DNA profiling is the gold standard. So forensic has a role to play in all the national security agencies. It is like we analyze, we validate, and it acts as a weapon for the security of the nation. This is how forensics plays a role in all the national big agencies to support the nation's security. Now, if I come back to our case, I was actually, when I was talking to uncle, I told him, "Uncle, this case is really sensitive. I won't be able to share everything. So my professional ethics won't allow me to share everything what happened. But my personal feelings have a story of human side linked to this Ahmedabad crash." Very first story which really moved me was two sisters, victim of this air crash. Their mother gave the sample. Because we are two sisters, I was really moved with this. So there were two sisters, mother gave the sample, mother's sample matched with X, mother's sample matched with Y. Now both are her daughter, it is clear. But we were not able to understand who is X and who is Y. So after making the report, we were in a question that, okay, science is there to answer. Okay, these two are the daughters, but science is not able to answer which is who. Another case was a family of four: mother, father, and two kids. Now, for the reference relative samples, a person from the father's side came in. The person who gave the sample, the relative who gave the sample, was this father's brother. So, this sample matched with the kids and the father. But there was nobody to give sample for the lady's side. We waited for a few days to arrange samples, but there was nobody to give sample for her because nobody was there in the closer area. So then what we did reverse matching. This was for the very first time I witnessed something like this. We did reverse matching for these two kids. We took out their profile and we matched it with the mother. So it was like some of her both matched with her. So we could then match, okay, this body part can be of this person because it is matching with two other samples, which are the kids to that mother. So this is how we did reverse matching. So in this way, we would come to conclusions. Another major problem was the transportation and contamination, because it was so huge, so many samples, that from postmortem, from civil hospital, they would come to this place, from our place, following different stages of chain of custody, and already they were in not a good condition. So contamination was a major problem we faced while analyzing this. So to overcome this, we put repeated sets of the sample. Like if we have got one tissue, we would cut the tissue into 5 parts, put 5 parts of the samples for analysis so that we could eliminate the contamination. Like this, it got burdened up and up because of the problems we faced. So like, these all are the things which I witnessed very closely in this case. Another case was where we got a tooth, and it was a decayed tooth, so it generated a partial profile. Now we were not able to know that half of the DNA wasn't getting traced, and then when we matched it in the database, it would match with two people because they were from the same extended family. Again, there was a problem. So I tell you, it was more of a science, more of a statistics, more of stories, more of it was a mixed feelings which I witnessed in this case. And after this, all cases are something I really have seen very closely. And if we talk about similar cases which we have seen and the role of forensics, which had played a really good role, was the tsunami case of 2004. There also there was so huge. It was such a huge mass of people. Visual identification was really not possible at that time. Odontology, anthropology, and DNA profiling helped to analyze. Now, what is odontology? It is basically the study of teeth in the forensic application. Now, it can be in rape cases also, odontology plays a good role, which is the bite mark analysis. So odontology, through teeth you are able to find out the age, you are able to find out the gender, you are able to find out if there is any disease in that person. So these two three things help us through help the odontology aspect of the forensics. Then if we talk about the Kedarnath floods, in Kedarnath floods, it was really difficult to recover, rescue, recognize, and in that way also bones were the major evidences found. Some were intact, some were broken, but there also DNA profiling played a crucial role in Kedarnath floods. And the recent one was Balasur train crash in 2023. Not only DNA profiling, I remember because I got a chance to talk to the team members who were deployed at the train crash at that time. They told me they found out DNA from the toothbrush to link to a victim, to establish that okay, the presence of the victim was there. So they used toothbrush. Also, they used AI triangulation sim identification methods to trace victims in Balasore train crash. So forensic is something which works at the back foot. That's why we don't hit headlines. And I can't move ahead without expressing my greatest gratitude to all of you, because especially Murthy uncle, for bringing me from back foot and bringing and keeping me on the front foot, and enabling me, allowing me to express everything to such great minds today. So it is all thank you from my side for listening me and letting me know that I'm a part of such great and golden people today. So I'm open to the questions. If you allow, I can also share about my research. What research am I doing? um,
Please open your
Please do
camera
that. Please
and
do that.
please.
Please do
yeah.
that.
Actually, basically, what my research is now, this is how I explained my research to the people who came from home ministry. My guide always says you should always speak what is sellable, the things you can sell. So this is how I explained that there was a POXO case. A 9-year-old girl was raped in Goa, and we were not able to come to justice. We were not able to provide justice because we could not identify the evidences present at the crime scene, which were colorless body fluids, especially saliva, semen. These are colorless body fluids, and after 2 weeks or something, you can't visually see them. So this was a case, and there are so many cases like this. So now what we are doing, we are using nanoparticle. Now nanoparticles are the particles which are of the size of 10 to the power minus 9. Their size ranges there. So they are very very tiny particles. Using them, we are making a sensor out of it, which can, on the site of crime, can detect the colorless body fluids, so that police officers can collect those evidences and send them for the analysis. And this would help in especially the sexual harassment cases. It will provide a better impact on those cases. So this is my major idea of what I'm doing. And it can also be a part for the investigations like mass disaster. Like I can link it to the various aspects. I'm really working on it. Let's see, I'm on the initial stage of my research. By God's grace, if things work good, we'll be able to publish something which will be very new to our country.
Good. Happy. Open. All of you, please open your camera and clap.
Give her a big round of applause. It's quite inspiring, Aditi. Could understand the courage that your team encountered. This chain of custody, this is the first time I'm hearing this phrase. Acknowledged by integrity. And I also amazed with the process of investigation that you have been that you have undergone. Okay. And the certain cases we were really, I am taken aback by tooth you can detect the age, gender, and this is quite amazing, really.
Yes, uncle.
And the sisters were able to identify those sisters who was who.
Yeah, on the later stages, we tried to use different techniques. We
Oh,
coordinated with some different agencies, and then we were able to. In
wow.
fact, the pressure was for the British samples, and the British High Commission was too much interfering with the investigation. So that was a big headache. I remember every now and then I would see people coming to the university. We were keeping media out of reach, but these things were so entangling us that the time I have spent investigating this case was.
You did the investigation in your university campus.
Yes, Uncle. It was the very first time we did it because it is the Institute of National Importance, and we have Center of Excellence for DNA in our university.
Okay,
And
okay.
also because, as I said, our nation had no skills and no resources. So for that time being, we were allotted. We were a
Okay.
part of the investigation along with the different state forces.
Yeah. I'm a little taken aback by the designing of a software in 2 days for
Uncle,
this.
that is some, yeah, yeah. I tell you, it was by God's grace. It was a magic, it was a miracle. How it
Oh.
happened, we don't know.
And also, I am also amazed by the evidence. Your senior was telling me the evidence was less than a coin. With
Yeah.
that, you were able to decipher 260 cases means really, we are very happy and we are really proud. Thank you very much for your time. Okay, I request Sir Stephen sir, please come.
Let Sridhar sir can speak now. Sridhar
Yes,
sir,
Sridhar
Vasanthi
sir,
madam.
Sridhar sir, can you
Aika.
give?
Yeah. Good evening, madam.
Good
Very,
evening, sir.
yeah, in a very short time, you really explained neatly and preciously and professionally all the steps. It's very nice, in fact. Okay, very nice. In fact, forensic analysis is really one of the, though it's a very oldest field, but modern times I think it has been what do you call, moved in a different directions. Because without which we cannot even traces some of the bones that we get millions and millions years ago, like all those animals and other things. Okay, so that is how it started in olden times, but nowadays I understand. Of course, I am not in this forensic thing, but normally DNA, since being a chemistry man, I understand the DNA evaluation structures and how it plays, amplifies those things. I could understand, but the technique involved, as you rightly said, it is basically a collaboration technique. If one of the collaborators is not forthcoming or not adapting the right technique, the sample will be lost. And as you rightly said, chain that will be cut. When the chain is cut, naturally the proper investigation is not possible. In fact,
Correct.
it's really well done. Okay, as you rightly said, whatever accident takes place, whatever decaying takes place, what remains is the tooth and bones. Basically, invariably they are all inorganic materials. Basically, calcium phosphate. That
Correct.
calcium phosphate, it is in the form of they called hydroxyapatite. They call HA. They call. They never decompose. You keep it even millions and millions of years, that remains. That is the beauty of inorganic material. Why all the organic material decomposes or
Right.
gets burnt away. Now, because of this advantage of calcium phosphate in its structure, though it may not be the same structure after burnt or after decay, but when it is decaying, the structure slightly changes. But when it
Yes.
gets burnt, the stoichiometry gets changed, but it still remains as HA. Now, with the help of that calcium phosphate structure, and of course, you can see many things like your DNA studies and all those things are possible. And that HA is there both in bones as well as in the teeth. So these are the two components which help us even
Emma.
today. What? anything happens, we can able to trace out. Assuming that
Mm.
if this are all not on inorganic material, it is impossible to trace because saliva will remain for how many days? It remains only for a few days.
Exactly.
And as you
Mhm.
rightly said, because of the new nano technique, you are able to
Yeah.
see. You can explain to me how the nano is working because I don't know how it is really working to trace the saliva. So if saliva and other things are there, mean that cannot stay for longer. Longer. So because of this inorganic material present in bones and teeth, it remains forever, which will help
Forever.
us to identify any investigation in order to generate data, in order to help people, in order to help the nation. So many things, not
Correct.
help the science, discovery channel, all those things will come into picture. In fact, very
Very
nice. In
true.
fact, I appreciate your short presentation with full magnitude of the scientific terms. In fact, very nice. I appreciate. Thank you very much. How the
Thank you.
nanoparticles? How do you use it to trace the saliva? You see, saliva is invisible because you cannot see. Only in wet stage you can see any liquid. With
Correct.
microscope you can see. But when it become 2 weeks, naked eye you cannot see because of 2 weeks everything will dried. So what is the technique? How do you use these nanoparticles, which is, as you rightly said, 10 power minus 9, such a one? How do you incorporate it? How do you trace it? I do not know because you don't know where to mix it. The site
Okay.
is so big.
Yeah.
Where to mix? How do you select the spot? That's the only question. Thank you very much.
Yeah. This question is a really wonderful question, and I might expect this question in my PhD viva someday. So I'm preparing it to you today. So it's like nanoparticle. It's now I am on the proof of concept study which I'm presenting these days to the RPC committee. It is like I am interacting the saliva with nano. Now I have designed 2 to 3 types of nano particle, which are basically metallic nanoparticle. Okay, so now metallic nanoparticle has a property which under spectroscopic interactions with body fluids, they emit some wavelength. Now, my research will be all around fluorescence and absorbance. So, basically, using these 2 spectroscopic techniques, I will be using it as a tool to understand the enhanced detection of body fluid for several days. So, it can be used in different cases. It's like that.
Okay, now I understand. Because spectroscopic studies are very important nowadays. Earlier, the applications was not well narrated. About 50 years before it, yes, but nowadays, because spectroscopic studies of various kind, like NMR, IR, all those things are very useful. And
Very
if
much.
it's different wavelength, you can able to identify. That's now I understand.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Vasanthi ma'am.
Madam Aditi, it's a very informative and very excellent presentation that you have given. From an young mind, we are looking at future of India, how you can progress with so much advanced technology, where you are going, what you're doing. It is wonderful, okay? Here, the forensic science has come to a bigger advanced stage because there's a lot of crime going on in the United States, shooting every day, and then crimes everywhere. Then like the 9/11 that happened. So everywhere they have improved forensic science to a higher level. As a radiologic person, I know how John F. You remember John F. Kennedy? John F. Kennedy, when he died, there were so many theories that there was only one assassinated assassin. There are multiple. So they couldn't find out whether that is true. There was one person or multiple persons. From the bone fragments, the way the gun should have, the shot should have been fired, and the entry point and the exit point, they found out there are 2 people, one from the front, one from the back. Okay, so the files even till today is not released. because so many other people will be caught in that. So they didn't release the files. Okay. The same thing goes on many other incidents, many other crimes. When you said about nanotechnology, I gave a small talk on Raman effect few
Okay.
months back.
Hmm.
Okay, so I was about to tell you how this nanotech. I know you are a research person and you know that surface enhanced Raman is what they are using in nanotechnology and forensic science. So once you have the golden and silver nanoparticles, and with the Raman spectroscopy, within few seconds, you can find out what it is, okay? And everywhere, it's portable Raman. Everywhere they are using it. The one thing about that is like, in future, when all the young minds, like, without any science, like I'm sure you had the science background. I want to know what background you had before you entered into PhD. What type of background? Like, what was your course of study? Whether you did science and then came to forensic science. How did you enter into this field? What interested you? Please tell something about that.
Yeah, ma'am. This is a personal thing, and I would really like to share that. I scored really good in 10th. My mother is a teacher. She was
Okay.
happy. Okay. Now that in 11th, 12th, I did from science. Then I got good marks in 12th as well. So I wanted to pursue, I wanted to become a doctor, MBBS doctor. But I couldn't make it to government college at that time. So I got BDS, but something in me did not allow me to choose BDS. And forensic was new. My curiosity made me choose forensics. And it was a part of medical branch. And I luckily got admitted into government college. It was very close to my hometown. So this is how I entered forensics. Then I did BSc forensic science. I did MSc forensic science. I got a government job. It was going all well, but then again something there, the daily routine did not allow me to stay there for long. I said no, some research is needed to this field, and we already have very less forensic scientists in India. So that is how I got pushed towards a PhD, like research field in forensics.
This is very interesting because the newcomers, like many younger students, will hear you and maybe they will opt to go into this field. That's why I asked this question. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Very nice.
And ma'am, I'm so glad I could hear so much from you, like the Raman spectroscopy and all these things. When I get to hear it from all of you, like people like you, it feels so good that they all are aware about how things are working. So it feels so good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stephen sir, பேசுறீங்களா?
முருகேசன் சார், முருகேச பாண்டியன் சார் பேசுறாரு, கை தூக்கியிருக்காரு.
Okay, முருகேஷ் பாண்டியன் சார் வாங்க. Please come.
Okay, இது புது டாபிக்கா இருக்காங்க. Okay, இன்னொரு MOM team, this is the first time hearing such kind of new topics. Excellent. Thank you, madam.
Thank you,
As
sir.
a career, no, how do you feel this? What is the future for this career? Sir,
Okay.
I'll be interacting with the government school children. They may not be aware of such information. No. What is as a career? How they that is the first point. The DNA test and other thing, no. See, we are giving blood test and other thing, no. Sometimes they are giving immediately. Sometimes in the evening they are asking tomorrow. Something they are telling, the DNA test, it takes how much time to get the report? That is the one thing. How much it cost?
Costing. Okay. So now, am I supposed to answer it now, sir?
Yeah, please. Three questions as a career for the
Say
children.
whatever you know, then you can answer. If it is not pertaining to, it is not necessary.
Yeah, no, uncle. The idea, I have an overall idea
Then
about
that's
what
good.
is
Then that's good.
Yeah,
Then-
okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
He is
So the
interacting with the schools, many schools. That is why he wants to know whether he can transfer this knowledge.
Okay, yeah. So the first thing is career in forensic sciences. So when I joined the graduation, there everybody used to say it's a dead branch. Why did you opt this? I can't see a future in forensic science. At that time, it was very heart-wrenching to hear all this. But then now I understand the demand forensic has in India, especially in India, because of the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita (BNS), IPC and CRPC are now replaced by BNS and BNSS. So now in BNS and BNSS, we have a huge demand of forensics because all the crimes all the crimes, major crimes, the severe crimes will have to go under the forensic investigation, forensic reporting to get justice, like to deliver. How are they going to proceed? So now that it has, the scenario is totally changed. But for me personally, as I belong to a family of teachers, I would prefer to stay into academics, sir, because I think academics is something you get to learn something every day, and you stay with students, so you are lively always. So this is my view of why I want to stay into academics, though I will not close all the paths I have for the analysis in laboratory work, but my personal choice will be academics. Then second thing is the DNA, the extraction and the reporting. The whole process takes, if we say, now there are two ways to use it. One is the automated procedure and one is the organic procedure. So using the organic procedure needs more time, but if you go through the automated procedure, I think 1 day is enough to get the reports. And if you use the organic procedure, you might need 2 to 3 days to generate the report. So this is how we go for the DNA, the time duration needed for the DNA analysis. And the cost might vary again depending on the procedure, as I told you, the organic one and the automated one. So for the automated one, it might range from 800 to 1000 because of the kit we have to purchase for per sample. And then organic one is cheaper relatively, which might take quite less comparatively. So this is estimation of the costs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey,
Good.
Aditi, your
So
sister
nice.
has come.
I think so.
Huh?
On Arya Mishra was there.
Okay, she's my sister. Did she
Yeah,
join?
yes.
Yeah,
Can
it's
you
there.
ask her to say a few
She's
words about you?
Arya, I can't see her, uncle. If she's
No,
there,
she's there. She's there. She's there.
She's there.
Arya, are you there?
Arya, could you please switch on
Make
your
DNA
mic?
analysis and find out.
Hello.
Now we'll have to advance the procedures to just find out the DNA in air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Manish has
She,
joined. You know him?
no,
Manish, yeah, he's my uncle. He's my mama. More
Okay,
of a
okay.
friend to me. He has
Okay.
also joined.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Can he?
He's in
Can he?
Bangalore. He's in
Okay,
Bangalore.
okay. Can he please talk?
Arya.
Yes, sir. Namaste.
Arya. Go on.
Namaste.
Yes. Yes, Arya.
Please say a few words.
Say a few words about your sister.
Arya,
She will
Arya,
say
speak.
more than 3 words, I think.
She's shy.
Yes, yes.
She's
She's
just
just
opposite of what I am. I really have to do some DNA analysis to understand if she's my real sister. We don't match. We don't
Okay.
match at all.
Okay,
Interesting.
okay. Anyhow,
That is
thanks
like
for coming. Can Mr. your uncle speak about
Manish,
you?
Manish
Mr. Manish, could you please say a few words?
Is he there? He
Yeah,
would
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, he's there.
Hi, good evening to all.
Good evening, good evening.
It's just privilege to see all the so scholar people over in the same chat room, and it is my pleasure really, and it is the pleasure of Aditi to get the guardians from all of you people. So I am really thankful to all of you, and please keep guiding her and give your blessing to her so that actually I don't want her to go to academics. Rather than that, I would prefer to have she would be a scientist and do some good work for our country.
Good.
She's also doing a good
Very
work
good.
now.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you very
thank you,
much.
thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Aditi,
Thank you.
Aditi, you did a very excellent presentations.
Thank you so much, sir.
So the subject is very interesting, but it is a challenging, is it?
It is something new. It is fascinating.
Yeah. Can I know how many branches? There any branches in your forensic course?
Exactly. Thank you for reminding me of it, sir, because I wanted to discuss about the branches forensic has. because forensic is an umbrella term, and we have so many things under it. First comes the very interesting is toxicology. Which I think sir would relate. The sir who has asked me about nanotechnology would completely relate about toxicology because it is related to forensic chemistry. In toxicology, we find about the poisons, the toxins, and related things. So it is related to chemistry. So forensic toxicology. Then we have ballistics. Ballistics relates to ammunition, firearms, and all the things related to the blasts and bullets to weapons. So ballistics is that. Then we have serology. Serology deals with the body fluids and body parts. Then we have anthropology, which I discussed. It is the study of bones and structure and measurements. And then we have cybers, digital. Lately, we have introduced drone forensics. Drone forensics is getting huge demand these days. So drone forensics is also under great demand. Then we have, this all are the things. DNA is a part of biology. So yeah, this is how, and forensic medicines, it is a part of the medical studies. And this is how we have different branches of forensics.
Which is specific? What is your branch?
Mine is forensic biology. Now I'm working on protein. So proteomics is what I can say I'm dealing with currently.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Very interesting. See, really, we appreciate you, and we want you to do more and do more research on this area. Frequently, you visit our meetings and deliver
Definitely,
many of your
definitely.
experiences, whatever you are gaining. You share with us. We'll also learn and we'll teach the students wherever we meet several students. No, it's really interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Ravi sir.
Sir,
Ravi sir. Ravi
I
sir.
can speak, no? So, Aditi, very good and excellent presentation. It was as if we were with you and doing all the tests, and you were able to see you brought the condition of the patients, how you are done, how that war room could have been like that. We can able to imagine from the way you are presented. Very excellent information, and what you have done, that meticulous process you are explaining, especially videograph, documentation, labeling, detailed description, cleaning, then profile of victim. After that, matching, all those things were, it's how in a scientific way and a proper way you are matching. That we were able to understand. And the last you said about the branches of forensic, that was very useful. And see, actually, a disaster management plan is there for every disasters, flood like that. Is forensic is not included in that disaster management plan?
So if we see, that is what I said, forensic works at the back foot, at the backstage. If we see, ranging from the collection of the evidence to the presentation at the court, forensic plays its role. So it's a part of, we learn about the 3 P's: preparedness, protection, preservation. So this is all a part of disaster management protocol, which we read, which we learn. Yeah. So yes, forensic is a part of the disaster management. But the thing is that it doesn't come into light.
Yeah. No. Did you given any recommendation to government that this has to be included in the disaster management plan from your experience of the recent site?
This now, from this case, I have read that the SOPs are changing. They are very much into changing the things and bringing new reformations into process. And I think it is not done at my level, but at a higher level, things are changing. Because now this crash, every incident brings some or the other amendments into process. So I think this has played a role, and now things will change definitely.
Okay. Can you please repeat that 3 P's?
It is, first is to protect.
Yeah.
Other is to preserve.
Yeah.
And third is to present.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So we first protect the site.
Yeah.
And the first thing is to protect the site so that the evidences don't get hampered or damaged. Then is to preserve what we have now found, so that if we preserve it, it will stay for longer and we'll be able to have a good analysis, and then is to present at the court. So this is
Okay.
the 3 P's.
We are very happy to hear your presentation, and we are enriched by your presentation. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I'm
Thank
more
you, thank
happy,
you.
sir. I'm blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shivakumar
அடுத்து
sir.
சிவகுமார் சார் வாங்க.
Super, Aditi. Nice, very nice, and a lovely evening. Sir. I have my appreciation for you. Having come
Thank you.
forward to give me a good presentation, very neat and plain presentation. It's as Stephen sir told, it's interesting subject. You explained in a simple and neat way. You can understand how difficult it is. Say, when I remember the day when the aircraft was in use, only one man was able to escape. I don't know, one time, miraculous, one man was able to enter. Say, out of 247 or 250, after following the news, I was following the news. About 230 were identified. I don't know what happened to the remaining 15 or 20. So, see, we were wondering how it could be identified with the relative DNA. We were able to do this. Say, science has grown in such a way. Out of nearly more than 230 victims were identified based on the relatives of DNA. It's really wonder. My appreciation again for you. It's a very nice and clean presentation. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'm very happy.
Aditi, one more question.
Yes.
He is the senior most member of our team.
Yes.
Okay.
Shivakumar is the senior most member
You
of
are
our
like my granddaughter.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Super. All the best.
Thank you.
team. All the victims were identified?
Yes, uncle.
Okay,
No,
good,
it was
good.
like, no, for the, like, as I told you, we got the samples into different slots.
Okay,
So
okay.
accordingly, then we would filter the data, like this are not, this we have not got into conclusion. Then again, we would follow some procedures. We would consult some seniors. So in this way, it was overall a success.
Yeah,
And also
good.
the things which we were not able to identify through DNA profiling, we did facial reconstruction using
Oh.
AI. So AI was also a part of this investigation, which people really don't know outside, but AI was also useful here.
Okay. Thank you.
So it is like giving names to the nameless. This whole case was about that.
Yeah.
It was,
Since you said about AI, how you use the AI?
yes, uncle.
How did you use the AI? What is the purpose of
AI
using AI?
using softwares. So
Okay.
So we used, the team was different. The digital team was there to help the facial reconstruction part.
Okay.
Next.
Okay. Anybody?
Armuga sir.
வாங்க.
Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you.
You have given a nice presentation to us, and we are extremely welcome to you to this session. Very deep, because you are so much interested in that particular item. You are able to present this. Some of the items which may not be useful to our normal eyes. We are not able to. But you are helping the server. You are helping the India. Backbone of crimes and everything. So we are very much thankful to you, and thankful for your nice presentation. We bless you. All the best. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Chakrabani sir.
Yes, sir.
Chakrabani sir இருக்கீங்களா?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Good evening, Aditi. It's a nice presentation.
Thank
Really,
you.
we are enjoying. Actually, we got more information from you. You said that hair-cross 2 sisters, mother has given the sample with that your investigation done. Like that family of 4 members. These are all really interesting things. I am wondering, the decay bodies, you are doing this DNA, really amazing. One cannot go nearer to that body generally, See, you people are, I don't know how you courage you have to do this analysis and do the DNA things. That one. And with the teeth, you said age, gender, disease, everything can be found. That also is an amazing thing. Recently, I saw one movie, this Hunt, the Rajiv Gandhi assassination. They have shown only a bit of things only. It's not entire thing.
Mhm.
These are all actually to find out who are all died with Rajiv Gandhi. All those things they are shown in that movie. See, to identify the people really is a challenging work. In fact, is in your field, very rarely, very people only identified, like Dr. Chandrasekhar, like that. In Tamil Nadu, we can identify one or two like that. It's not very popular. You are entering into that field. Really, you are doing a good service to the nation as well as this presentation is very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Prasanna
Rifai
Lakshmi.
Bhai,
Rifai Bhai Kara. Rifai
Yeah,
Bhai.
yeah. Yeah, no comments, sir, but I want to convey my regards and thanks to her. It's a wonderful
Thank
done
you.
work done in Ahmedabad incident. I have one doubt, madam.
Yes.
When the DNA and it's not matching with you say before there is a percentage is very less. How you find out this match with this one? How you conclude? It means how you finalize that with that matching? This ratio is very less. Compare with this what is called that sample and DNA.
As if what all I can understand from the question is, how did we bring it to conclusion? Is it that?
I'm audible now. It's clear.
Yes, yes. Now it's clear.
I'm asking when we are going to be searching that DNA test match with a sample and this one before you say me something that the ratio it means the percentage of matching is not find out. It means not full of 80%, 90%. It is not matched. Then how you find out the declaration? It is for this for this.
It is like, sir, we have got the reference samples. So we run the reference samples, we run the victims, and from there we do the matching. Who is matching to whom? In that way, we proceed the matches. Also, we used a software, as I told you, and there were so many group of teams, people in different teams were deployed in the matching process. So once the team matches something, the same thing would pass to another team to confirm the matching, because to maintain the accuracy of the reporting. So this is how we proceeded.
Okay, ma.
No,
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Aditya, what he is asking is, if it is only 50% or 60%, how you will match? This is
No,
what.
uncle, then it is not a match. It is not a match.
So only
Okay,
if
yeah.
it is confirmed to 80 or 90, you will confirm.
It is not, in fact, 80 or 90. It has to be a 100% match, 99 to 100% match.
Okay.
It won't be conclusive, and it won't be conclusive result if it is 50, 60, 70, 80 also. No.
Okay.
Just
Good.
like that.
Thank you for the clarification.
Very Prasanna.
Good evening, Aditi sister. Thanks for your wonderful presentation. I am part of Tata Group. So I have one question. See, suppose if people are aged and they are having the tooth set instead of original, right? So then what will happen?
Then
and
we
some
can't.
people may take their root canals, right? For example,
Right.
I did some root canal. So in that case, you may take the original tooth from the body. But if it is a set, the complete set, then how will you find the match?
Exactly. This was the major problem we encountered while this investigation was on, because majorly what happens, if it is a case of mass disaster, at the postmortem, the doctors are not able to give much time and they just process the things they get into their hands. But what samples we get are from the medical professionals. So they know if there's a root canal in the teeth, they will give a complementary another evidence. Like if if I get some teeth or tooth piece, I might get some clavicle bone, or I would get some flesh or tissue. So it is like that.
Okay.
I
It
think
is that.
you people can easily find out which is the original one and this is the duplicate one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is easy for us. In
easy.
fact, it is more easier for the medical staff to
Yeah,
understand.
of
And
course.
from there, they pass it to us.
Prasanna question says it's don't travel with the tooth set hereafter.
No.
She said old people only, sir. Actually.
No,
I just imagine my father and this question came to my mind.
சார் அதெல்லாம் சொல்ல முடியாது சார், அவங்களுக்கே கூட இருக்கலாம் சார்.
ஐயோ சார் இன்னும் அந்த ஸ்டேஜுக்கு போகல சார் நான்.
Okay.
If I want to add one, there is a big difference between natural tooth and then this artificial one. Both are totally different. Though it looks same, like structure-wise, it looks same. I mean, externally it looks same. Internally, it is not the same. It is very difficult to replicate the actual bone, replicate the actual tooth. In fact, the structure cannot be possible. That's not possible. So, with doctors, they know it is artificial one or original one. They can able to make. That's number one. Number two, just to answer your uncle question, suggestion to you that you should be a scientist instead of going to academicians society. Because I have experience in both the sections, in fact. It all depends upon individual's interest and your own caliber, in fact. In both the field, one can shine. In fact, most of the Nobel laureate, many people who discovered, they are basically from academicias only. And there are some people who are in industry also, scientists also, they also contributed a lot. So it basically depends upon how how talent you are in that given field. The distinct difference between these two is if you are in an academic side, for example, let's say you have completed your PhD and getting into assistant professor or professor level, then after some point in time, you will be getting some PhD students. So at that time, what happened? You will be running across all the journals, what is exactly happening. Then you cannot give the same PhD topic to one student. Let us say when you are starting with one PhD gate, it is different. When you go for, as you grow older and older, that is where your talent comes into picture, depending upon your own in-depth knowledge and efficiency. When you get, let us say, 5 students, 5 different topics, you will come across so many journals. Then your mind will activate. What else is there? Why it is coming? That is how the discovery comes, basically.
Correct.
That is on the academic side. Of course, if you are just merely teaching, getting professor and then getting retired, then that's a different thing.
Definitely.
Okay? That is why I started my career as a professor. I left it after 2 years because I have seen not able to contribute much in that academic lines. So I thought I'll go into industry. When we went to industry, yes, then it it very matches with my own interest in the thing. When you become a scientist, the same logic applies. When you go to any scientific lab or anything, you'll be given a small task to begin with. Because nobody is going to give you noble task to do everything. So it starts with the slow and steady process. There also you can shine a well because there you can see exactly what is happening on day-to-day affairs. Academic is something different. When you are in scientific field, what exactly is going on, what is the current topic, then you can do the thing. So in both the field, one can shine depending upon their own interest and the depth of knowledge and dedication. These are the 3 points. Is there. If that is there, whether it is in academic field or in scientist, one can grow. Thank you very much. That's all.
I'll add one more to Dr. Sridhar. My takeaway in this is you can be in the industry and then go into academics.
Academics, right.
Be in the industry, gain some experience, and then go to academics. You will have so much to offer to student community than when you begin as a teacher first, because that's what happened to me. I was in the clinical side first and then went into academics. I think I could give more than if I had just been a teacher in the beginning. Second thing, I want to ask you this. They say that all the fluids in the body, semen, saliva, everything can be used for forensic evidence. What about I also read vitreous humor. The eye.
Vitreous humor.
Yeah, where will you use it?
Vitreous humor, ma'am, as far I know, is used for the post-mortem interval.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So vitreous humor is not easily available at crime scene.
Yes.
So we can't relate it to the victim or accused.
That's
But at the post-mortem time, it is used to understand the post-mortem interval because of the sodium and potassium levels in it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Based on the ionic level, we are
Ah.
able to understand. We are able to understand the time interval that has happened from the death.
Or is there any like a trauma to the head that if there is blood in the vitreous humor?
Those are secondary aspects of vitreous humor, but the primary main role of vitreous humor is to understand the post-mortem interval.
Oh,
In any sort of crime, be it suicidal, be it
Yeah.
murder. Yeah, it helps in that.
Very good information. Thank you. I this went on in my mind for a long time. Where will
Yeah,
they use it? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
This was very insightful.
Yeah. You are almost 10 minutes more than what you have granted for us. Sir, any other person is there to ask
Sir,
questions?
question illa. Aditi, advance wishes for your Nobel Prize.
Uncle, I will be meeting you all first and foremost if something happens like this. We all
We'll pay.
go together.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time, Aditi. From the whole team, we wish you all the best in your career to
Thank you
scale
so much.
great heights.
Thank you.
Let us
Okay.
clap her again. Clap her
Yes.
again.
Yeah, one stop. Thank you.
See, we all wish you in every success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be happy. Nice
Thank you
to
for
meet
your
Happy
time.
Independence Day to all of you.
And
Thank
Independence
you,
Day.
thank you.
Thanks for your sister and uncle. And if you can log out, there's no issue now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All the
I
best.
will touch you later.
What is your sister?
She's doing her BTech. Now she's in her final year, so she's doing her engineering.
Good.
No, at least now she can speak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now you tell.
Ah,
Where is she?
Arya,
she's there. She's there.
Yeah, you speak now.
Yes, Arya, you can speak. Say a few words.
I was so unaware of the topic. Actually, Aditi Di was about to speak, and I feel like I have also got to know a lot about bio, forensic, and what actually she been doing. I feel so proud, and I often go short of words when I see her achieving so much and addressing on such an integral topic, which most of us don't even know. And when I see so many legends and sirs like you are so curious to know, and the topics you brought and the questions you asked, somewhere they were in my head running for so long, and I really feel so appreciated the way she interacted and you all reciprocated. I mean, I just loved it. I loved the hour. I loved the time. I felt so good to be a part of this meeting. And I feel so fortunate. I'll thank Pandi. I call it Panu Didi. Aditi Didi, I'll thank you for this because I never expected I'll be a part of such meeting at this age, at least. So, yeah.
So uncle, now we don't need a DNA analysis. Now she can speak.
Yeah.
Your
Thank you for
blessings
your
with
time.
all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Say a few words about our program.
Okay, uncle, if I say, I really feel very honored, and it gives me great pleasure to be a part of, to witness all of you great minds. As per the channel, you people are really great minds, and to speak up here was a great honor for me. I feel so privileged to be a part of this. Not only I could polish my knowledge, but I got so much insights from you all that okay, I can think in this direction and proceed with my studies. So this was one more thing I can add. And of course I'll be coming to all of you in future because I can't afford to. It's like some lottery to me to get all these great people at once. So I'm so happy to see you all. Keep your
Anyhow,
blessings
anyhow,
and
all the
prayers.
best, but you will not forget the tooth set.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you,
Thank
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Arya, take care of Aditi.
Yes,
All the
surely.